Okay, well, this is Jonathan Dupree, and I want to welcome you to the Put Your Dream to the Test webinar. Today, we're on session 6, and we're going to be talking about the pathway question. And the pathway question says, do I have a strategy to reach my dream? There's a great quote by one of my favorite speakers, presenters, Les Brown, and he says, we must look for ways to be an active force in our lives. We must take charge of our own destinies, design a life of substance, and truly begin to live our dreams. So the pathway question is a powerful question to really go, what's the pathway? What's the route to my destination? When you think about going on a trip, you're taking a journey somewhere, you always create the route, or you put it in your phone if you're not sure where it is in your GPS, and it gives you a route. And sometimes your GPS will say, hey, I found a faster route because there's an accident ahead or road construction ahead. So if we reroute you this way, you'll get to your destination quicker. And so you can reroute to the fastest route possible, or you can avoid toll roads or bridges, all kind of different scenarios you can put into your GPS to avoid, and it can reroute and get you to your destination based on the way you want to go, the roadways you want to take, or the fastest destination. Before we dive into the call today, I want to let you know a couple of things that you'll see there on your screen. And the first that you're going to see on your screen is beneath the presentation, you will see a question and answer box. And that question and answer box is going to be the way for you to interact on the call today. And if you have a question, you can input that in that box, or if you have a thought that you want to share, then you can also share that thought as well using the question and answer box. Also, to the bottom left of your screen, you will see a link. It says free gift. And that free gift is the workbook for the Put Your Dream to the Test. And that will allow you to download the workbook. And you can go back to, if you go to jonathandupree.com, then you can see the archives of the previous sessions, the previous 5 sessions. And if you want to fill in the blanks, then you can do that using the workbook, and you can go back and fill in the blanks in the previous sessions. So those are just a couple things I want to point out. I'd love to hear what you've gotten so far from the webinar, Put Your Dream to the Test, some of the sessions that we've talked about. Maybe share, if someone wouldn't mind, in the question box, and I'll kind of monitor it, and I'll stop and talk about what you're sharing. But if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to hear what you've gotten out so far. What has been your best session, or favorite session so far out of, we've covered the introduction, and we talked about ownership. Is this my dream that I'm chasing? And then we talked about the clarity question. Do I clearly see my dream? And we talked about how we've got to have a clear vision. Mark Twain said, I can help anyone get anything they want out of life. The only problem is I can't find anyone who knows what they want. And the clarity question helps you gain clarity, and there's power behind that. Then we talked about the reality question. And the reality question says, am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dreams? And then last week we spoke about the passion question. Does my dream compel me to follow it? And I shared a quote by Steve Jobs where he said, if you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Today, obviously, we're going to talk about the pathway question. Do I have a pathway to achieve my dreams? So I'd love for you to share your thoughts so far. What was your favorite session? Maybe a couple takeaways so far. Maybe something you've implemented since we've spoken and it's helped you move closer to where you want to be in your business. And I'll share those. I'll see them as they come in. Real quick, when we talk about pathway, I want to ask you a couple questions to think about. When will you have achieved your dream? By when are you going to achieve your dream? What will you have achieved in the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months that ensures you're on track for the fulfillment of your dream? Do you know specifically what activities and action steps you need to take to fulfill your dream? What is the roadmap? What are the specific action points that you've identified that need to take place between now and then? What are the timescales associated with each step? What are the steps you're already taking? What support do you need? Where are the potential failure points in the journey? What do you think you're going to need to sacrifice over the next 6 months to ensure your success? This is a great question right here. What are you avoiding or reluctant to consider that will have to be done if you achieve the outcome? So where's the resistance? What are you avoiding? What makes it difficult for you to move forward? What stops you? What fears do you hold on to? What perceptions do you have that become your reality that freeze you or paralyze you and stop you from moving forward? I want you to think about those questions and start to brainstorm on them and jot down in your journal all of the action steps that you need to take to achieve your dream. And then ask yourself this: what else could be done that will help you move towards achieving the dream? Keep exploring. Keep prompting the what else question. Ask that and continue to probe deeper to find out what else you could be doing. Don't dismiss any idea or think it's less relevant than any other. And then as you do that, I want you to begin to reflect. Reflect on the answers to the questions that you have been asking yourself. And as we dive into this pathway question, do I have a strategy to reach my dreams? And so as we dive into this today, this will be one of the shorter of the 10 calls that we have. And I want to talk about your plan. So as you think about your plan, my question to you is, do you have a strategy to reach your dream? My son, Noah, just started selling Cutco knives. He's 16. He had a goal over the summer. He said, Dad, I want to make X amount of dollars. And I've discovered I can't. He used to work at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a phenomenal company. But he said, Dad, I can't work at Chick-fil-A and make $6, $7 an hour and achieve my goal. He said, so I've been talking to Julian Landry, who is my Cutco representative. He's been talking to him for the last year. He's 16 years old. And he finally got an interview. And he said, Dad, I think I'm going to sell Cutco knives because they pay me X amount per presentation, $16 per presentation. And I can do 10 presentations a week. And then I get a commission on what I sell. And I can do this and save this money and do well over the summer. And then in the school year, I still can sell on a couple nights a week. And it'll allow me to increase my communication skills because ultimately I want to get my real estate license and I want to work for your company. That was his big goal. But he's got a plan and a strategy that he's implementing to make that become a reality. So he goes through his interview and he dresses sharp and we role play and he practices. So he's got a strategy to get the job because he would be one of the youngest Cutco representatives that they've ever hired. Well, he's there with a bunch of college-aged people and some older people, and he ends up getting the job. And so he does a great job. He makes calls that night. He starts setting appointments. He goes through his training. He does his first presentation. It's not even with friends and family because we all had to go to the cancer ball. So no friends or family could do an appointment with him that evening. So he calls one of our neighbors who he's known for about 6 months and sets an appointment and goes and does the appointment and makes his very first sale. And then the next day, that was Saturday, and then yesterday he had 4 appointments. So he had a total of 5 appointments this weekend. 5 appointments, 5 sales. He sold over $8,000 worth of Cutco knives his first 2 days selling. No manager with him, all by himself. set a Cutco record for your first weekend in business in his office. He got 47 referrals because he asked for referrals, and we practiced that script. He woke up at 7 in the morning yesterday and he practiced his presentation and practiced his scripts before he went and did the appointments. Why am I telling you this? Here's a 16-year-old kid, but he had a plan and he had a strategy, and he implemented that strategy, and he implemented it without fear. Now, was he nervous? Sure he was, but he did a fantastic job. So what's your plan? Do you have a strategy to reach your goal? How do you answer the pathway question? Are you trying to work it out? Are you trying to figure it out? Or are you waiting for someone like a fairy godmother to kind of bail you out? Because if you are, you're going to be disappointed. When I think about people who don't have dreams, it's really sad. And it's equally sad when they have dreams, but they don't have a strategy to reach them. There's no way to climb up to them or build the foundation under them. And so you have to become motivated and encouraged and inspired to take action. There is sometimes in our world, or I see in people's lives, and even in my own life, there have been times where there's been a missing connection between where they are and where they want to go. I've had that in my own life, a missing connection of where I am and where I want to go. So you might have a great dream, but then the next question is that it's a great dream. How are you going to accomplish it? There's no magic power in having a dream. You can't just wait for it. You have to work for it. And you have to have a specific strategy that gives direction and focus to that work, because without direction and without focus, there's no results. The pathway question is the hinge pin for the entire idea. If you have a strategy for reaching your dream, you have an excellent shot of achieving it. If not, it might as well be living in that fantasy land. There was a study done, and it was published by ThinkTQ, which is a training and publishing organization. And this was done in 2005. And it illustrates how infrequently people develop strategies for achieving their dreams. And this is what the study revealed. 26% focus on specific, tangible targets for what they want in life. 19% set goals aligned with their purpose, mission, and passion. 15% write down all of their goals in a specific measurable detail. 12% maintain a clearly defined goal for every major interest in life role. 12% identify related daily, weekly, and long-term goals with deadlines, and only 7% take daily action towards the attainment of at least one goal. So what does this tell you? This tells you that Americans get an F in this critical area of their performance. So simply put, they fail to consistently take action. And that's really sad. They fail to take the necessary actions to move their dreams and visions from their hearts and their heads and into their lives to become a reality. So how do you secure your dream to make sure that you're moving towards the dream, so that you have this pathway, this strategy in place? There's a great quote that said, "Saddle your dreams before you ride them." What does that mean? Well, it just simply means that you need a plan. A strategy is important, and it's one of the most important parts of the dream as the dream itself. Most people agree that planning is important, yet we still neglect to do it. We forget to make it a part of the process. We're so busy strategizing that we neglect we're so busy stargazing that we neglect strategizing. So the whole purpose of today's call is to help you plan to plan. Every dream is unique. Your dream is, there were several people on this call today. Thousands of people will watch the replays of this webinar. You all have different dreams, so I can't give you specifics in your dream. However, I can give you an approach to planning that will assist you. And it's based on the word secure. So when you think of secure, I want you to think of this like this process of reaching your dream, and compare it to like reaching a destination using a GPS device. If it knows where you are and you tell it where you want it to go, it will create a map for you. The difference between a GPS and you is that you have to create all of your turn-by-turn directions yourself. Mark Twain said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming task into small, manageable tasks and then starting on the first one. So anytime I've had to create a plan to achieve a dream, I simply start by stating my position in the process. You know, my present position. I need to know, here's where I am. And then I need to know my future position. This is where I want to go. There's another great quote by Henry Kaiser who says, the evidence is overwhelming that you cannot begin to achieve your best unless you set some aim in life. And then the third is the positions in between. So you have to say, here's the starting point. Here's where I am. Here's the finishing point. Here's where I want to be. And then here are the points in between point A and point B. Here are the points in between where I am and where I'm going. This is really the best way to answer this question is to answer the question, what steps must I take to get from my present position to my future one? And that's going to give you the things that you specifically need to focus on day in and day out. Many people think they're finished when they answer with the pathway question as soon as they know where they are and where they want to go. And they have identified some of the steps to take them there. But if that were true, then more people would be achieving their dreams. That's just more the strategy than just steps. So you've got to take massive action. Usually we think it's going to take us to point X to accomplish our dreams. But the reality is it takes us at point Z to accomplish our dreams. It takes much more than we initially anticipated or thought. So you need to overdo massive action if your dream is really important to you and critical to you. So you have to, if I were to give you, before I go through this word secure, a couple of steps, it's number one, it's do something. The process begins by doing something, taking a step, moving forward. John Hancock said, all worthwhile people have good thoughts, good ideas, and good intentions, but precious few of them ever translate those into action. So just take some form of action. I told my son, I said, Noah, you might have lots of people that are going to tell you no. Yes lives in the land of no. So for you to get some yeses and some sales, you're going to have some people tell you no. Now, he was fortunate. He took action. He started making calls. He started practicing handling objections. Everyone didn't just say, hey, let me buy a knife set from you. He got some objections, but he overcame those objections, and he shared the value of the product that he was selling. And as a result, he got the result he desired. But he started by just doing something. He had an idea. And he said, I don't want to just work at Chick-fil-A. So he did something. What was his first step? He called Julian Landry and said, please, I know I'm underage. I promise you I can outperform these other people. Can you just get me an interview? That was his first step. So just do something. Get started. The second thing is do something today that relates to your dreams. Do something today that relates to your dreams that will move you forward. What can you do today? And then the third thing is do something every day that relates to your dreams. Now you're making it a habit. See, motivation gets you started. Habit keeps you going. You get motivated, you do something. Then you do something today. And then you do something tomorrow. And then you do something the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And you start to create a habit that helps move you closer to where you want to be. So let's talk about this word secure. And as we talk about this word secure, know that you're going to have challenges. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have issues pop up. But you got to create a plan, and then you have to work that plan. So as you consider your strategy for reaching your dream, I want you to keep this acronym SECURE to help you with the plan and process. And the S stands for state all of your positions. State all of your positions. Think back to the GPS. What is my starting point? What is my ending point? What steps do you expect to lie in between the starting point and the ending point? So state all of your positions. Write them down. Then examine all of your actions. What actions must you take every day to get you closer to your dreams? I recommend every Sunday evening you sit down with a planner and you plan out your week. And as you plan out your week, you also reflect on your previous week and you say, what should I continue doing that served me well? What do I need to change or tweak? What do I need to stop doing altogether? And then you plan your week, and at the end of every evening, go back and examine your day. So my son talked to me about getting a planner, and I said, I'm going to help you get a planning system. And what I want you to do is every day, at the end of the day, look back at your day and reflect all of your actions that day. What served you, what didn't, what helped you move forward, what stopped you, what were your challenges, and then you can course correct daily by examining all of your actions. And then you need to consider all of your options. What parts of your strategy are you willing to alter to move forward? This is a big one because a lot of times we don't want to move forward. We say we do, but we don't. We're not really open-minded. We don't want to keep our options open to the opportunities around us. We're not as flexible as we really think we are mentally. But consider all parts, all your options in your strategy. And when you're examining your actions daily, you're course correcting. That's considering all of your options. What can I do differently? And then utilize all of your resources. What resources do you have at your disposal? List everything you can think of. We all have more resources at our disposal than we really think that we do. And remove all non-essentials. What activities are you currently engaged in that do not contribute to the journey towards your dream? If they don't contribute towards the journey of your dream, remove them. Stop doing it. So it's, what do I need to continue doing? What do I need to make changes to what I'm doing? And what do I need to stop doing? Stop doing is removing all the non-essentials. And believe me, we have way more non-essentials that we participate in our life than essential activity. In fact, so much so to the point that we will do whatever it takes to avoid doing what matters most so that we can do what matters least. And I want to challenge you to remove all the non-essentials. Never let the things that matter most be at the mercy of the things that matter least. And finally, embrace all of your challenges. What problems, obstacles, and failures do you expect to face in your dream towards your journey? What can you do to avoid what may be avoidable? What can you do to prepare yourself to meet your challenges? And what must you do to prepare yourself for failure? Now, we already know there's a great book John Maxwell wrote called Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So you never really fail until you stop. So I want to challenge you to embrace your failures, to embrace the challenges, to know that they're going to be there. You'd be foolish to think that they're not going to be there. So I just want to close this morning and say thank you for hopping on the webinar. This will be back up on my blog, JonathanDupree.com. If you click on the blog section, you can then easily navigate there. I want to show you the book, though. This is the book that we're going through, Put Your Dream to the Test. And I would encourage you to pick up a copy. Download the workbook that you see there on your screen. And I want to just show you real quick where the archives are. So if you go to my website, JonathanDupree.com, and scroll down to the very bottom and click over here where it says blog, you will see the Put Your Dream to the Test replay sessions. And if you click on that, all the sessions, previous sessions are there for you to watch. So you can take the workbook and you can just go through and watch each session if you missed any of our previous sessions. Thanks again for joining us today. One last thing I want to tell you before I get off is one of my goals this year in 2016 is to build as many friendships as I can. So one of the ways I'm doing that is simply through sending out birthday cards and a few holiday cards, a few handwritten note cards, all that good stuff. I'm not sending you anything else. No marketing pieces, no spam mail or anything like that. It's all physical in your mailbox. I just pushed a link on the screen. You can click that link where it says click I need your address and fill out that form. Make sure you put in your birth date. And I'm going to send you a birthday card every year on your birthday and a few holiday cards when Christmas rolls around, Thanksgiving roll around, a few little handwritten note cards to express gratitude for you being in my world. So make sure you click that button if you'd like to receive a birthday card from me. My goal is to make it fun for you to go to the mailbox again. You know, we always get junk and spam and all that kind of stuff in our mailbox, just marketing pieces and bills, and it's not fun going. And I want to make it fun for you going to your mailbox. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm looking forward to hearing your success stories as you put your dream to the test and answer these 10 questions and gain clarity to where it is that you're going, and you create the pathway and the strategy. Next week, we're going to talk about the people question, and the people question says, have I included the people I need to realize my dream? So we're going to have a fantastic call next Monday at 10 a.m. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.